Okay, I found her. I found her.
Here,
Yeah,
Peace Reflections.
your camera's fucked up. You got it the wrong way.
I'm gonna wait for a couple people to come in the room.
Girl, turn the camera
Starting
sideways.
live, I'll wait for a couple of people to come in.
Turn the camera the other way.
Peace Reflections.
Turn the camera the other way.
Peace Reflections.
Oh my God, she's retarded.
How are y'all doing? Hey, twins, mom, by nature. Peace Reflections. So, hi, how's it stream coming? Is it coming in clear? Put a thumbs up if it's coming in clear. Peace, collard greens by nature. Peace Reflections. If it's coming in clear, put a thumbs up in the room.
What do you have to say?
Okay, Reflections. Today,
Oh God.
I wanted to talk about being a virtuous woman and what that really means. Because it's pixelated. Because coming from a society in Babylon where we have been programmed to go against the very essence of what we are, we need to remind ourselves of it's breaking up.
Yes, you are retarded.
Breaking up.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Peace Reflections. We need to
Why you
remind
keep it?
ourselves and
Man,
get
look,
back
don't
into
say peace no more.
what our bodies really are doing. Because when you're in Babylon, women in general, that society is not set up for women. And especially when you are having your time of the month, where your monthly cycle, where you are getting rid of what no longer is useful in order to rebuild new.
What are you talking about?
So when we are in Babylon, this part of us gets turned off because we are so focused on going to work, paying our bills, and so we don't even think about what's going on in our bodies. And during this time of the month, when we get cramps and you start to have your period, you don't necessarily think about what it truly means. This is a time where you should be sitting still and giving this energy back to the earth. And so when you get cramps and things like that, in Babylon, you push through it and you ignore it because, what, you have to go to work, right? You have to pay your bills. So you ignore it and you keep going.
No, they
This
have
causes us
pills.
to create hormonal imbalances within ourselves because we are not listening to our bodies. The cramps are an indication of you needing to slow down and take a seat. But in Babylon, we're not able to do that because we have to push forward, push through, because it is a man is built around, it is built around you keep going and keep pushing through. Like, you're built like a man in a sense where you're ignoring your body in order to do as much, if not more, than a man, which is just not logical. Because though men and women, we are equal, we are not equal in function. That is why we have different parts from each other. The male has an external appendage, and the women has an internal. And so women have menstrual cycle every month, men do not. Women bear children, men do not. So we have different functions here in this lifetime, and the more that we start to understand this and really actually start listening to our bodies, then that's when the healing process is going to start. That is when we are going to start to get back in tune. Because truthfully, you would not know until, like for me, I did not know that my hormones were off balance until I got here. And I was able to learn more about myself. And I'm comparing, like, yeah, that is very true, because every day you wake up in Babylon and you have something to do. And you have to ignore what your body is trying to tell you, what your body is telling you to do. So we ignore these things, and then we keep on adding more stress, more hormonal imbalances, and then that's why we end up at the doctors.
Yeah,
But
being
the
lazy.
doctors are not telling you that.
Just be lazy.
They're not telling you the truth.
I don't want to work. I just want to sit down.
Aid symptoms and
Bitch, ain't nobody taking care of you.
Your body
The
messes
fuck?
up by prescribing you pills that are not going to do anything for you, because everything starts in the mind.
Oh,
Everything
Lord.
starts in the mind. So if you heal
Tell
your
that to
mind,
Eliana.
you will heal any ailment. If you let go of stress and whatever stress is placed into your environment, you are going to heal the root causes of the problem. No pill is going to heal that for you. And they mess women up by giving them birth control, which further throws your hormones off balance. What a birth control does is it tricks your body into thinking that it's already pregnant. It's similar to what they do to cows in order to keep the cow milk. You know how they take the calf away from the mother, but they still have the cow thinking that it's pregnant so that it can produce milk for humans to consume. The birth control works kind of in the same way, where they're giving you a pill that is tricking you into thinking that you are pregnant. And this is going to cause so many disruptions in your body. And this is what Babylon does. It keeps you thinking that what they are doing is healing you when oh my God. There we go, reflections. They make you think that what they are giving you is healing you, when in actuality it is not. It is just making you more sick. It is causing you to be more off balance than what you were when you came. So in Babylon, what they do is they try to keep you distracted from what it truly is important. And what truly is important is for you to get in tune with your body and get in tune with nature, because that goes hand in hand. Once you figure out that you are everything and your body is a reflection of the earth, then you will better take care. You will have a better understanding, and you will better take care of yourself. Okay, reflections. Okay. So, like I was saying, women every month have a time where you are letting go of what no longer serves you. So you have an egg that is waiting to meet with the sperm. And so every month when it does not, in 2 days it will die, and then that's when the whole lining of the uterus comes down and you bleed out. That's the menstrual cycle. And then after your menstrual cycle, you start to develop new eggs that do the same thing. Wait for a sperm to come and impregnate it. Now, when you are on this menstrual cycle,
you can't get pregnant, Iyah. She lying, y'all.
To actually get in tune with your body and actually,
girl, your cycle don't drop like that.
Understand what is going on and how you are feeling.
Either that or Nature Boy ain't fucking.
Okay, so I'm gonna just throw a couple people out the room.
Smiley Coochie.
Yeah, so even when you get birth control, you get a Mirena, or you're taking the pill, any one of these are going to cause a lot of hormonal imbalances. And a lot of women wonder why they end up with cysts. And I would not recommend that you put your child or yourself on any birth control, because before that stuff when it first came out, everybody was taking it, and a lot of people were getting sick from it. But now they have it to where they are freely advertising the risks that come with putting a Mirena in and all. Peace, reflection.
Shut your retarded ass up.
So when you putting in these birth control pills, you are actually creating an imbalance that throws off everything.
Iyah, why you not pregnant?
And so what you should be doing during that time, every month when you're administrating, is you should just be getting in tune with what your body is telling you.
Every month that you're administrating?
You don't have to sit still, but you want to slow down your movements in order to listen to what your body is telling you. When we're in Babylon, we're not able to do this, and it's not cool for you to take.
Boy, Nature Boy gonna call your ass shut the fuck up. You gonna be moving in.
Back in the original days, they used to see that as sacred, because think about what blood is. Blood is something that is living, and it also has stem cells in it. And what do hospitals do? They pay a lot of money to collect stem cells. So what you want to do during that time is you want to be giving that back to the earth, because when you give it back to the earth, you are creating a connection between you and the earth. And so I wouldn't recommend that you go to the doctor for anything, not even for birth control. And that's the thing, like, Babylon does not promote the sexuality of people. They even shame you getting pregnant. And so a lot of people are not being taught the real functions of the body, and they're wearing condoms and putting plastic. They're going to the doctor and getting Mirenas, and all of this is messing with your body. All of this is messing with your body, and it will take time to heal once you know, and once you really dedicate your life to creating that understanding, and not only creating that understanding, but actually living by what you know, applying the knowledge. So, because as women, you are receptive, like Reflection Love says, that you are receptive to a lot of energy. That means that as women, you are continuously taking in energy. You are constantly taking on energy. And this is a way that you release energy. There's also other ways to release energy, by exercising and things of that nature. But the menstrual is another way that we release this energy. Peace, reflections.
Peace, reflection.
Yeah, so, thanks. Hey, Mama Ra.
Why is Ra in there? She's right next to you.
Cycle. It is a sacred
That's so damn
cycle.
stupid.
It is a time to listen to your body. And
you need to be talking to each other on Instagram, and they right next to each other.
What you really are. And once you start, it will take some time because, like I said earlier, when you're in Babylon, you are not used to. You're not used to yourself. You're not used to listening to what your body tells you to do. We usually tell it to shut up by taking aspirins and taking all of kind of medications that will alleviate the symptom, but not the problem.
You sound retarded.
Somebody asked me. I'm just going to throw a couple people out of the room.
You still sound retarded. Yeah. I still sound retarded.
What I'm going to do is gain a deeper understanding of this and share it with you. We are coming back to a time, we're in the age of Aquarius where we have all this information
Age of
at our
Aquarius.
disposals, in our hands, in our pockets, on our phones. So if I collect this information, I am here to share it with you so that we can move forward as a community, move forward.
Girl, spell
of
community.
Humanity getting back to its original ways and coming out of the ways of Babylon, which teaches us to go against ourselves in every single way possible. And when we get back to our original ways, like through gaining knowledge of self, then we will be able to pass this information along to our children, and that way they will be more in tune with the planet each time. And there are a lot of different ways where you can collect your blood.
Marks is going to tighten the skin a lot, so you get both benefits of resurfacing and tightening. The price for this procedure is $480 a session, and for stretch marks, depending on the
Now, isn't that something that I should be doing right now? Twerking. Twerk. Yes. Seems like these ladies are staying in the jungle, came back live, and they are just as stupid as they were when we last left them. There was no enlightenment. All right. You might have thought she was going to say something riveting. But no. She is here to disappoint. She wants to talk about menstrual cycles and coochies when she does not wash her ass. So I know that coochie smell like a dead skunk. All right. I'm saying a skunk. Get down. Come on. I said, shit. I want to talk about why my coochie smell is bad right now. My cycle then came on. So the chief told me I got to sit out here. Like, you smelly little bitch. All right. I bet you True is the only nigga in that bitch that's eating coochie. All right. All right. Like Sheba was sitting on this nigga's dusty ass face while Nature Boy was hitting him from the back. All right. I'm just saying. Ah. All right. You be seeing how True is. True is traumatized. That nigga be sitting there like, peace reflection. I want to talk about how you shouldn't commit suicide. All right. And nigga be like, I once tried to kill myself. But then I thought about it, and I said I wasn't going to kill myself. All right. That nigga had lost his goddamn mind. All right. All right. People say they want to call in. Call in. 862-304-3776. $33.85. All right. Oh, I'm eating some more animals. It's like a symphony. All right. It's like a symphony. Hear that blade going through that meat? It's so tasty. All right. It is so good too. See, if I wasn't supposed to eat this, it would have made me sick a long time ago. But it's good. You know, being able to eat on some meat. Very good. Pork chops. These people complain about the pigs. I just eat them. All right. I'm saying. All right. Oh, my homie Keith, ready for all them smelly coochies over there. Man, oh man. All right. Them coochies gonna be hairy, smelly. You know? That's so weird. All right. I wonder how y'all gonna get more and more females to come out there. The captain is not leading the helm. Yeah. Mm. 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 So good right now. You know, going right through the meat and the bone. All right. Pulling that juicy, tender meat out of there. Mm. Uh-oh. Falling everywhere. Mm. 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 Hey, man. Aya's hair ain't growing back right. No. All right. Aya damn near look like she in isolation. All right. Mm. 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 It's like music. And you give these to the monsters. And these goes to the monsters. Uh-oh. Show them. Show me your monster. Now, see, she's prissy. Mm. She's prissy. Mm. Mm. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. Come on, get it. You got away. You're a pit bull. You're supposed to react. Come on. You know what I'm saying? She's real prissy. Right. All right. Now, see that guy over there? Oh, he's different. He's so much different. All right. You know, when you put a bone in front of him, Ooh. Uh-oh. Are you drooling? Uh-oh. Oh, the monster. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da. Uh-oh. Oh, you hungry? You hungry? Oh, shit. Yeah. He's a he's a gorilla. All right. Yeah, nothing separates him from his bone. Nothing. Okay. If you eat like the animals, you will be in tune with the animals. Okay? Now, shout out to the people that have donated already. All right? Sent mixtapes. Is that the other? We got a 90s mixtape that we about to drop. All right? So that's coming up right after I go and scoop everybody. Everybody. He said, I don't eat pork. I eat every animal. If you cook it right. Shit. All right? I eat any animal. Yeah. When the last time you seen a black man eat a pork chop on live? Like, oh my God, they still make those? Yes, they do. And boy, are they good. That wasn't any old pork chop either. That was a fried pork chop. That motherfucker was deep fried. You feel me? Yes. Made it the right way. You chop that off, right? Nice little cup of Kool-Aid. Oh yeah, you in the game. All right. That's right. Mixtape coming. All right, live at the sound check. God damn it, it would be raining. All right. Yep, it's raining. Boy, I'm glad I got them to snake out that damn floor drain. That would have sucked if I had to deal with that too. Oh yeah. Yes. on ship. Got me a little snaggy snack. Oh, I have to go outside. Yes, I do. I have to go outside. It's raining. That sandwich. All right. On my way. Whoa. Yeah. All right, yeah, man. All right. Now, when we look at look. All right. We going home. Let's look. Before I can say a word. All right. Before I can say a word. All right.
Hey, peace, everybody. Welcome to the room. Welcome to this live.
Yeah, what up, Rambo? I didn't even have a chance to say anything, but go ahead.
Baby Zen and me? Or you see me and Baby Zen?
What's up? Oh.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today?
How you doing?
It's a cloudy day. It's raining a little bit, but it rains like every day out here. Hilo is actually,
Come on, move
is
some.
actually the most, the rainiest city in the United States.
Damn it, man.
It gets the most rainfall, so they be getting hella rain
Damn.
during rainy season. I forgot how many feet, but a lot. Yeah, so it just rains every day.
Damn.
Baby Zen and you, brother. Yeah. So, I forgot I could share pictures. I took this picture yesterday. Probably shouldn't be sharing it before she posts. But, I don't know, I just saw that, I thought it was a nice picture. Now, well, this right here, Hilo, it gets the most amount of rainfall as far as feet. Because when it rains, it really pours out here.
Yeah, it's raining out here too, man.
I wanted to talk about today I had a topic because we were talking with a friend yesterday. We had a conversation about humanity, right? About where we are and if that's where we should be. Because basically, when it comes to go Fourth Customs, peace. Next logo. Man, I'm gonna have to move because there's a dog right here. Alright.
Oh, damn.
This dog's not gonna leave me alone. Alright, so I was talking about we're talking about humanity basically, and there's two trains of thoughts. Basically, there's people that believe like humanity is moving forward and it's evolving and it's progressing based on the current state that we're at right now. There's people who think that the technological advances that we have made actually a form of evolution, that we're actually evolving into something greater. And then there's another form of thought that says that we're actually
That damn dog said, "Get back to work."
More in tune when we were connected to nature, when we were in nature, that we were had it together, and we were, in the place that we were supposed to be. So those are the two train of thoughts that I see today, because one of them, like the futurists, they think that we're gonna, if this planet goes to shit, that we can just develop technologies and go to Mars or go to another planet and, be able to sustain life there, And then there's the other train of thought, basically like, no, we got to get in tune with this planet because this planet is all we got, and we should be in tune with this because it's our natural environment, right? And that's kind of where I would say that's where I fall in, because, and then this is what I said, we're not balanced right now because one train of thought is trying to take somebody all the way back, and that's what it appears like. It appears like going backwards because on the evolutionary timeline, we were connected to the earth back then, so people, when they think about going back to nature, getting in tune with nature, they think that it's going backwards because it was before, it was long ago that we were in tune with nature, so they in their mind they view it like, damn, like, why are you trying to go back? Like, we got all this technology and we've developed into civilization and we're progressing and evolving, but I'm like, you gotta look at the positives and the negatives, or not the negatives, but the other side of the coin as well, because with all the technological advancements, a lot of things have happened, and so we're living in a state that's not natural. Because let me explain to you something. Back in the days, back when we were living close to the earth and tune with nature, there was something called survival of the fittest, where if you weren't strong enough to survive, if you weren't genetically built to be able to survive and to do what you had to do to survive, to harvest your food and stay away from predators and do all of this, you would die. And your genetics would not move forward. So if you zoom in, that looks like, damn, like, that looks like a negative thing. That looks like, well, we don't want people to die. We want, that's sad that person died. But if you zoom out and you look at the collective and the whole, you will see that taking out that weakness is actually strengthening the population. It's strengthening the tribe. It's strengthening whatever group of people that person was associated with, because they're putting a burden on the tribe, and so that it could be seen from that perspective, right? But we come to a modern day time where we think everybody has to survive, everybody has to stay alive, and we are perpetuating life for people who can't even really do anything for themselves. Like, if they were, like, for instance, in indigenous tribes around the world, if
you rambling.
Like, some sort of genetic disease or a mutation, say it had Down syndrome or it had some chromosomal mutation, then they would terminate that life. They wouldn't let that life go on because they realized that it would be a burden on the tribe, and this didn't make sense to them for them to continue. But they didn't have a perspective like they were killing something. They were just on a different frequency.
Oh, he want to kill a baby, y'all.
Everybody has to survive by all means, by all costs, and we have to nurture even those who are being a burden to society. We have to give them things, and we have to keep them alive, even if they're sick or overweight or they're dying. Like, we have to keep everybody alive. So what that does is it creates a genetic pool of people who are weak genetically, and then they pass on those genetic weaknesses, and people inherit those genetic weaknesses, and it becomes a cycle of just creating weaker and weaker human beings, to the point where we've gotten now is that people, if they were put in a natural situation, would not be able to survive or sustain their life, because they don't have the capacity to be able to do that. They don't have the strength to be able to endure even being outdoors. Some people have to be so nurtured, because in a natural state, we become domesticated animals, right? We once were a wild animal. We were in nature, and nothing was domesticating us. But through technology and the advancement of civilization and colonization that came in and swept over the whole world, and basically took people that were living in tune with nature and implanted a philosophy, a religion, an idea into their mind, and coerce them into becoming part of their system. Now we operate under another doctrine, you know, and so you have to realize that's what's going on, you know. So we're creating a weak genetic pool, and we're basically coddling people, human beings who can't do anything for themselves in nature or in the real world, and thus there's repercussions from that. That's why we see so much diseases and genetic diseases that are evolving and things that are happening, because we are doing everything to keep everybody alive. But what seems good in theory and idea might not be good in the grand scheme of things, because everything in nature is operating from the principle of weeding out the weak and creating a stronger group, a stronger population. And when it operates from that premise, it creates species and beings that are strong, you know, and that are able to, you know, endure a lot, and it creates a strong genetic pool, like I said. So those are the two trains of thought. But for me, it's like I realized, like, we already opened Pandora's box. We already tapped into technology. We already tapped into this aspect of ourselves, where it's like we're alchemizing the earth and trying to do all this stuff with it. So it's like we can't, at this point, with this knowledge and having this understanding and knowing what we know, just completely throw it all away and walk out into nature and pretend it doesn't exist, you know. But at the same time, you know, we can't just keep doing this and how it's going, because the technological advancements, they created a lot of issues as well. They created a lot of pollution. They created a lot of disconnection from our truest self, being connected to nature. They created diseases. They created different things that aren't in the best interest of the species either, you know. So I think we need to find balance, you know. I think we need to come to a middle ground where we can find balance and unite these two concepts, these two ideas, where we're in tune with nature. We understand nature. We understand our own human nature. We know the plants. We know how to eat. We know how to heal our bodies. We know how to maneuver in the natural world. And then we have another world where we congregate, but that's built respecting and in tune with the laws of nature, not going against the laws of nature, who thinks consciously in awareness of every choice and decision that's made in the long haul, for the long haul. Like the Native Americans thought, you know, 7 generations ahead, because they knew that their actions would affect that many generations ahead. So they were really thinking for the long haul. But nowadays, it's like, if you can make a quick bucket, no matter how much damage you do to the earth, as long as you can generate that money. But that form of thinking has brought us to a place now where we're out of balance, where we're suffering from the repercussions of that greed, you know, of that trying to get over people and trying to get ahead, because of the system. And the mind state is the mindset that's been perpetuated because we've been conditioned to separate. Everything is separation, and the more separation you create, it's an illusion. It just keeps becoming more. You have to separate more and more because the more you separate, you find more things to separate. You dive deeper and finer into the fabric of reality, and it becomes more intangible, But when we look at things as a more of a whole, when we can conceptualize the idea of things as a whole, as a unit, as a system, then we can begin to integrate ourselves and work together for the functioning of that system because we perceive it as such, And so we have to get to a mind state where we could think globally, and then you act, like they say, think globally, act locally. So you think about the whole world, but you act on a local level. Like say you're in your community, and you want peace around the world. You got to bring peace in your community. You got to bring peace to your family. You got to bring peace to yourself. That's why it all starts with self, because once the self and the mind is reprogrammed within oneself, then that can be extended to the family. It could be extended to the community, and then in the city, and then the state, and then the country, and then the world, But it all starts with self. If there's no peace within oneself, there's no balance within oneself. If there's no knowledge of knowing oneself, then that can't be reflected to the world. So it all begins with self, and this journey of consciousness or awareness that has sprung into reality in modern times is a journey of the self, is a journey of the human being venturing to try to unravel and discover what it is and what its place is and where it belongs in the world and where it should be going and where it came from. It's a coming to an awareness of the current state of what we are as energy. We have manifested as human beings, but now we have so many things that can show us ourselves. We have the internet and people around us that can reflect ourselves to ourselves, and so we're kind of trying to figure ourselves out in this moment in time. And it has become a trend, to be conscious, to be aware. So on some levels, it benefits, because I've seen like Jay-Z and Beyonce going vegan, and everybody's talking about veganism, and everybody's talking about, being conscious or aware, and it's a new trend, But, you got to be careful because words are tricky like that. Like words, people use buzzwords all the time, like, oh, I'm conscious, I'm aware, but words sometimes can limit people, from really becoming what they truly are meant to be, because they attach their identity to a word. So they think they're conscious, they think they reached the level that they're supposed to be at, but they might not even scratch the surface, because sometimes we get too ahead of ourselves and we don't realize that there's so much more to learn, there's so much more to uncover and unravel, even within yourself, that, you haven't tapped into yet. So sometimes we think we got all the answers and that we know everything, but that's foolish, because in thinking that, you will never open yourself up to learning more, because if your hand is full, how can I give you anything? If your cup is full, how can I pour anything into it? So we have to stay open as well, and not, not grab onto these words, not grab onto these trends, these ideas and concepts, but stay open, be fluid, and be neutral, and be able to be shapeless and formless, and be able to mold to whatever situation that you encounter, because being stiff and being like, I'm this all the time is not going to allow you to be flexible in certain situations that require it. Because like the way I look at it, I'm not vegan. It's like I'm everything and nothing at the same time. Because it's like I'm vegan, I am a carnivore, I am pescatarian, I'm all those things, because I'm a human being, I'm a representative for humanity, and that's me, And so in this situation, I think everything has a purpose, and being vegan has a purpose in your reality, in my reality, and being a carnivore had a purpose in my reality. When I used to eat whatever, it had a purpose. It brought contrast to the state that I'm in now, to where I'm able to see and feel the difference between eating plant-based and eating a lot of meat. I could feel that for myself. So the carnivore part of me served a purpose. It served me not being conscious of my eating and my diet. It served a purpose because it allowed me to feel in a way that would encourage me to seek healing, to seek how to heal my body and how to regenerate my body, you know. So everything served a purpose, and we can't just stick to one thing and hold on to it for dear life, because at the end of the day, you got to be able to be flexible. You know, you got to be like the water and mold to whatever cup you fit in, because it's bigger than veganism. It's bigger than food. It's bigger than any label that you could try to label it. The Taoists would say the Tao that could be named is not the real Tao. The Tao means the way. So if you think that you can name the way, that's not the real way. If you think that your belief system is the way, that's not the real way. Because the real way, the true way, cannot be named. It cannot be pinpointed. It cannot be boxed in. It cannot be labeled. The true way is not something like tangible that you can just, you know, put in your hand and sell to people. And, you know, it's nothing like that. The true way is a personal way. It's an individualistic. It's a self. It's nothing that you could even try to describe with words, because it's bigger than words. It's bigger than language. The true Tao, you know, the true way, the right way, is not nothing like that. You know, so you can't say everybody go vegan or be like. You could try to be an advocate for that, but you know that might be an aspect in the righteous path, but it's not the path itself, you know, and you will discover that in time, just like I did. You know, I used to be really strict advocate. I was 2.5 years raw vegan. I was just, I thought if you ate any piece of cooked food that you were basically, you know, weak, and that you couldn't really live like a true human, that you couldn't. I thought, you know, if you couldn't fast for 40 days, you're weak. You don't have what it takes to survive in nature. You know, and I did a lot of things where I was self-righteous about things, and I thought that pushing myself to certain physical levels was a testament to my endurance as a human and my conscious and righteous path. But I was being self-righteous, and I was, you know, I was wrong for that, you know, because I can't judge people where they're at, you know, or I can't condemn people for the place that they're at currently, you know, because we're all in different stages of our journey, and we're all learning and developing and growing different aspects and parts of ourselves. Yeah, okay, I can fast. Okay, yeah, I have my diet down, but am I compassionate? Do I think about other people? Am I a giving person? Do I know how to communicate with people? You know, what other aspects of myself do I need to work on besides these things that I have came easy to me? Because it's sometimes the things that come easy to us that we embrace because it's the easiest thing. Like somebody who's naturally, you know, buff or strong, naturally gravitates to the gym because they already got that shape going. They're already genetically built for it. So of course they will gravitate to the gym. And then you have people who aren't, who might be skinny, who have a hard time putting on muscle. He's telling them, you know, the other person, like, oh yeah, you just got to work out. Well, it's like easy for that person to say because they were genetically more predisposed to have muscle, and therefore they chose that path because of that, you know. So it's like sometimes what comes easy is because it came natural, and that's why we follow that thing. But remember, there's always other things to learn. Like we always can master other aspects of ourselves, and that's why internet is so dope, because we can connect with people and check these people out. Like, okay, that person might be overweight, but damn, like they're a good ass person. They're compassionate. They know how to communicate with people, and they really love themselves in a different way. You know, they might not have the aspect of where they mastered what they put in their body yet, or they're able to heal their body yet. But give them some time. You know, they might come into that consciousness, and you can learn along the way on your journey as well. You know, so it's just that's what it's about in this coming to awareness of humanity. Like, let's just open ourselves to receive all the information. Let's open ourselves to receive all the perspectives, all the trains of thoughts, all the consciousness. And then when we do, let's learn to be balanced in the approach that we have, because we can't sway too far one way, because we're just going to sway all the other way back. So in this whole journey, it's all about balancing ourselves in this teeter-totter of life and learning how to live in the middle, in a neutral spot. That's why in Kemet they say, you got to remain unperturbed, remain neutral, because then you can't be disturbed. Nobody could take anything from you. Nobody could, come and disturb your peace, because if you're neutral about everything, it doesn't matter what people say. Doesn't matter what people call you, how they perceive you. You're just neutral. Like, it's just you're in a neutral space, so you can't be bothered. But when you start swaying too much to one side, or start attaching yourself too much to something, then somebody can knock you off that space, because you've attached yourself to it. You got to be able to move with the flow of the universe, the flow of life, and that's what everything else in nature is doing. If you put any animal in any situation, it's going to do what it has to do to survive. It doesn't have the type of conditioning that we have to be able to have pride, to not allow us to move forward in that place that we're in our life. But because we have pride, because we have the programming that we do, we'll be like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. Like, I'm not, like, you become fixed in your situation, which might be the thing that's not allowing you to move forward in that situation, or to, overcome that situation. How can you be the best when you're being moderate? It's not about moderate. It's being neutral. It's allowing things, because when you go too far one way, you're just gonna, bounce the other way back. It's just the law. It's a law. Like, if you go this way, if you pull something this way, it's gonna spring back this way, right? Because that's what the law is. So in that moment, it seems like, oh damn, like I'm all the way over here. I really did it, but then that has a opposite reaction as well. So, but staying in the middle, in that neutral space, I feel like that's where you could understand things, and things won't disturb you and won't take your peace, and you allow yourself to remain unperturbed. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about, because we were having a conversation yesterday, and we were just talking, so I wanted to share that with you guys. That lady that was with us last time, I don't know, we were on Serenity's live, and she was on the live, so I don't know if you guys saw her. What was her name on Instagram? I guess Princess Divine. We were having a conversation. We were walking around. There's a park that's next to the beach. It's a beautiful park. It has grass, trees, and has like little ponds, and it has little bridges, and you basically just walk around, and we were just having a really good conversation. And so, I wrote that down because I was thinking humanity is just running from itself. And it's fractal, because we're running from ourselves too. As humans, individuals, we run from ourselves. But humanity as a whole is literally running from itself too. Because I was thinking, when we were in nature and connected to the earth, we had certain things that we didn't like. Like, we didn't like that people had to die. We didn't like that people had to get eaten by animals, or they couldn't outrun some animal, or they were susceptible to disease and they died from a disease. People didn't like that. And they were like, that's unjust. Like, we have to create a situation where this doesn't happen anymore. So humanity created civilization to escape or run away from the issues that they was having. So they created a civilization. They created jobs. They created agriculture, and they created a way to always have food available and never go hungry. And they created a civilization where people get jobs, and they go to their job and they work and they trade things and they make things, and they alchemize nature into different things. But now it's like people are like, oh, there's world poverty, there's hunger all over the world, there's all these other issues, and now it's like people are trying to run from that as well, So it's always, humanity is like always running from itself, and I feel like it's a fractal thing, because humans as individuals tend to run from themselves when they're faced with themselves, that humanity as a whole is also trying to not to look at itself or look at its reality and how things really are, and be able to accept things for how they are, so that they could work on things within oneself or humanity as a whole that need to be worked on. So instead, we're like running from one situation to the other. The next thing would be go to Mars. Let's go to Mars. Oh, let's go to another planet. Maybe we could inhabit another planet, because it's unjust. Like, this planet's going to shit. It's unjust. The oceans are polluted, but instead of humanity looking at itself and trying to decipher what it is within oneself that we're doing wrong. What is it that we're not getting right? We're not looking at that, that we can better. Instead of doing that, it's like we're running to a new situation to try to escape the previous situation. But everywhere you go, no matter how fast you run, at the finish line, you know who's going to be there? It's going to be you. Because everywhere you go, there you are. You cannot run. You cannot hide. You can't escape your mind. You got to tune in and tap into every issue. Face it head on. That's the only way you're going to overcome that issue. You can't run away and try to recreate a different situation. Don't run away from your problems. Run towards your problems. Face your problems. Look at your problems. Analyze your problems. And find a solution. There's nowhere to run for real. You're all in your mind. And this is what you got to realize. Every situation that you go to, you could change the setting. You could change the people. But the energy and the circumstances will always be the same until you overcome the issues within yourself that you need to overcome to change that situation. Just because it's not the same person doesn't mean it's not the same type of energy. You can go somewhere else, but somebody with the same energy is going to remind you of that same person, and you're still going to have to deal with why you react to that person in that way. Why do you feel this way about that situation? Like, why are you so prideful? Why don't you accept yourself? Why don't you love yourself? What are you trying to run away from? You're trying to run to a situation where hides your issues. You're trying to run to a situation that doesn't show you the things that you need to work on. So you can do that, or you can try to do that, and there is certain situations that won't shine as much light on it. Or you could create a situation that shines all the light on all the issues and just work on them as soon as you can and get over them and learn to deal with them and learn to accept the aspects of yourself that you can't change, and do that and become a better person in the process. Do that rather than to seek a situation that won't show you that about yourself that you need to work on. See, so that's as humanity as a whole, we're doing the same thing. So it's all fractal. One person is representing all of humanity, So if it's within you, then it's within all of humanity. If it's with all of humanity, then that's an aspect that lives within you as well. So learn to deal with your problems. Study yourself. Know your energy. Know what pisses you off. Know what makes you mad. Know what throws you off balance. Know what takes your peace and disturbs you. And be passionate about knowing yourself and working on yourself. And this is the goal. This is the mission. This is the real consciousness. It's not about eating vegan. It's not about wearing crystals. It's about the mind and the programming of the mind and knowing who you are as a person, as an energy encapsulated into this body, knowing who you are and why you have the thoughts that you have. And that's what it's about, So before you trying to change your diet and doing all these things and trying to be cool and keep up with the trends of the conscious community, know that that's always going to be the biggest thing that you could do for yourself. And
Hello, Moto. Hello, Moto.
you eat, change the people. The science of how the cosmos has affected our consciousness and has shaped the way we think. So if you can study that, then you can know who you are and why you think this way you think, why you feel the way you feel about certain things. So that's why we push in astrology so much, because we're trying to teach people about themselves so that they could work on themselves, and through that we create a better world. So Serenity's still doing readings, so if you want to get a reading from her, you can hit her up. That's important. You got to know yourself. And so, yeah. With that being said, I think I shared what I wanted to share today, and I'm gonna go do some work. I got some designs to work on, and if you want to design, if you need some work done, also hit me up. I'll do logos, banners, flyers, anything like that you're trying to get done. Hit me up, let me know, and I can start working on that for you. But I do got some stuff that I need to work on right now. So, but it was a pleasure connecting with y'all. It was a pleasure, being heard and being able to share this message with you guys, because I feel like we're all seeking to connect with people around us, and I'm glad that there's people that connect with me. So that's what it is, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys have a beautiful, wonderful day, and keep learning yourself, keep working on yourself, keep studying yourself, and become greater and greater every single day. All right, peace.